All right, a bit of a hiatus there. So I don't know if you guys have ever had one of those games where you've owned it and it's been on your shelf. I don't know how many years, like a really long time, and you've just never given it a chance. So recently, I've been watching a lot of videos on other channels for the World at War 85 system, which I've had the revised version, I believe, the Storming the Gap with the Solitaire module and the 3 expansions since like 2019, and it's been through a lot. It's been packed away, moved, stored, taken back out, packed away again, and I've been looking for a modern war thing to get into, and I've got Red Strike and Next War, and then I put the poll up on the YouTube channel, which is still down below. I think you'll have to scroll past Robert Redford and Battle of Britain anniversary to find it. But everyone voted for Next War, and yes, I do want to oblige your wishes. But my brain right now, I cannot handle Next War at the moment, so I might have to try something a little bit different. So I thought I would dive into this. I mean, it's still sealed. So I never really gave it a chance. I was like, use the 6-sided dice. It's like a dice chucker. It's stupid. How fun could it be? Then I kind of started looking into it, and I had the solo assistant, and I think it might actually be kind of fun. So, why not give it a shot and see if I could dig it? And it has a lot of helpful aids to learn it. On my iPad, I have the learn how to play in 10 minutes thing, which it's kind of vague, but I have all the downloaded scenarios and things like that. So I thought, hey, let's give it a shot and see how this plays out. And I just thought I would go over some of the rules. I don't want it to be a tutorial, but as I learn it, I figured I could just video it like I normally do some things. And then we could see how it goes. But it is a pretty deep game. There's a lot to it. One of the things that turned me off was the amount of stuff on the counters. But then I realized they do it, for a reason, so you don't have to like look up stats and things like that. So, if you look at these counters, there's a lot of numbers on there. And so at first you're kind of thinking like, holy crap, like why are there so many numbers on the counters? And it's done for a reason, because you can actually do like all your combats just by looking right on the counter. It tells you, exactly what you're going to need to roll to hit, your defense dice, all that. And then they give you plenty of learning aids that you can use, reference charts here. So for example, your firepower and the 2-hit that you need, the unit name, your HE firepower, and your 2-hit. And it kind of breaks it all down. Your assault here, your movement, your armor and your armor save. And it's all based off of a 6-sided die system. So the aids are very concise and easy to follow, and they're big, so they tell you what every counter equals, and they give you complete line of sight references here. These are all player aids, full color, and there's an examples on the other side there with height references. So there's a lot of charts to help you get through what everything means in this game. As you can see here, move and fire summary, terrain effects chart. Then it breaks down like every country. So there's a lot of stuff in here to help a person that's new get into it. And then there's even event cards, and it tells you like literally what the events are that you can get. I'll sign up, all on a chart there. So I thought, why not give this a shot? So I just wanted to kind of take a look at some of the most basic rules. And I do like this, for example, every die roll in the series, and telling you how to roll and what happens when you roll certain things. And so I think it's worth taking a look at. And then you have your big books that come with it. Now this is old, so they're on a different version of the rule book. This is 2.0. You can download the latest from the Lock and Load website, which I have on my iPad also. So there's your core rule book, and then you get this honking big scenario rules and module rules, and I have the expansions. Now there's also Nations at War. They have a World War II Nations at War. So everything's full color, very nicely done. You have a campaign map here where you can split off. So I think this is worth a shot. I spent money on it a long time ago, and I never even gave it a chance because I was like, it's not OCS for, it's not Next War. But now my brain in my advanced age is kind of like, maybe I need something like this to get back into wargaming, because I've had a pretty bad lull lately where I've just been disenfranchised with the whole hobby. I don't know. I just look at a rule book now and I just want to pass out. Like, no interest whatsoever. And it's been a rough couple of weeks, as you know, like even in the news, and it's just been brutal. So, and my job's just sucking the life out of me, but I got to get back into doing something I enjoy. I've been playing a lot of video games, not even like strategy games, just action stuff, just to like come home and blow stuff up on, just like Destiny 2 and a lot of shooters and like sci-fi games and stuff like that, Borderlands. So I got to reignite my passion for war games. I still read a lot of history books, but the war games, I just haven't had the want to drag this stuff out, man. And not even like Vassal either. Like, I don't like Vassal that much, really. It's great for ASL. Like, virtual ASL is great, but I haven't been down to like just get anything going here. So, but let's give this a shot and see how I feel about it. But let's take a look at just basic fire combat between an Abrams and this T-80 here. I'll just put them apart and show you how easy it is, and it's pretty fun. And there's lots of counters to like mark things as fired and things like that. And all the cats are coming in now. We got another cat, so now we have 3. Can you believe it? All right, so let's take a look at how we can set this up. All right, so the first thing you want to look at here is you have to figure out how many dice you're going to be throwing. Your AP firepower dice is going to be that 4 right there on the Abrams, right? The 1145, that 4. This number indicates the number of D6 your unit may choose to roll when attacking a vehicle, ship, or aircraft, but not non-vehicle or soft targets. So we're going to be grabbing 4. Also, my dice tower broke, so ain't that some shit. So now I got to roll on the map like a pleb. So we got 4 dice for the Abrams. The color of the number is black. That's red, okay? Or sorry, orange. If executing a move and fire action, this unit suffers less or no penalty to its direct fire attack, mainly because it's got good optics and things like that. But we're just going to say they're stationary for now. So he would grab 4 dice. Okay, bear with me here. I'm going to try to keep the modifiers like no modifiers as much as possible here. All right, and your 2 hit number is going to be just to the right here. So it's going to be that 5. So 4 dice with 5 to hit. So we're going to be rolling. We're going to be chucking those dice. And some people might like just chucking a lot of dice, but it just reminds me too much of like Axis and Allies. Let me put this iPad away real quick here. I'm going to have to get a box lid because I don't trust my rolling. If you've watched my other videos, you know how that can lead to disaster. All right. Now, if he was firing high explosive, this would be his high explosive to hit number. The range is going to be 11 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are well within range. So 11 hexes, 4 dice. Orange, he has good optics here for fire and move. And a cat has already inhabited my die rolling box. So that's cool. All right. And then... and the kitten's making weird sounds. So we know what that means there. All right, so we take that. Now we need to look at the defender here, this T80. Hopefully we can smoke this guy. Let's take a look here. Now there is a to-hit bonus since it's white, that number. They will get a bonus. They're going to get a bonus to the to-hit number for point-blank fire if they are at half effective range or less from the target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's going to be a bonus for the Abrams. Also, they can fire up to twice the effective range using the rules for long range. So 22 hexes on that. That's crazy. So that's pretty nasty. But the T80, it's has 12, but only gets 3 dice. So you can see that gun not as powerful as the Abrams gun, but it's easier to hit. My kitten really wants to get up here. I'll have to show you all the kitten later. All right. Each heavy armor target type has an armor value. The armor value is the yellow circle below. So you see the armor value here, that 4. This is our defense now. And each heavy armor target type has a save value. The save value is in here. That's a 5. So this value is the number of dice you get. So you're going to get 4 dice with a 5 on this shot, and there's going to be some modifiers. So that's pretty much everything you see here can be, all your combat can be looked at directly on the counter. So range of 11, 4 dice, 5 to hit, 4 defense dice, 5 to defend, and then there's some stuff, of course, for the different colors and things like that, and different targets. And again, your AP values and your HE values on the target on the counter. And when you roll your dice, you want equal to or greater than the values. So that's how you're going to know. For each die roll result that is equal to or greater than this number, a hit is scored on the defender target. And same for the defender. For each armor value die result greater than or equal to the save value, the unit may ignore 1 hit from the attacker. So pretty standard combat stuff. And again, this is all summarized on these handy charts. Range, firepower to hit, range, firepower to hit, armor, armor save, movement points. So there you go. All right. Okay, your range in this game, point blank range is all ranges up to 1/2 the printed range value, and you round down. And that's going to be on page 58 of the core rules. I'm using book 2.0, just a heads up. Now, there's one more thing to note on these counters. You'll see these orange triangles here. That's composite or reactive armor. Right here on the counters. We'll see how that comes into play here in a minute. All right. Let me back this out just a little bit here. We're not going to have HQs or anything, but we've got point blank range fire, so -1 to hit for any direct fire. But the target also has composite reactive armor, so units with this get -1 to their armor save if fired upon by green AP dice units, ATGMs, anti-tank guided missiles. So we don't have that right now, which means basically the missile has a chance to bounce off of the tank, etc. So that will not apply here, but we do get to use this point blank range modifier. So that Abrams is now going to be hitting on 4s due to the point blank range. So -1 to hit for the American tank. All right, so it's going to be pretty basic stuff here. We're going to roll the dice. I lost my box because there's a cat in it, so we're just going to roll here. We need 4s. All right. Those are no effect. So we got 2 hits. Now the defender gets to defend, and the Russians are going to be defending on 5s. So remember, we got 2 hits. We need to try to negate those 2 hits. Each hit is going to be cause a disruption, reduction, or elimination of the target unit. All right, here we go. All right, it looks like we only stopped 1. So let's look at combat effects next. All right, so I'm looking at page 64 in the core rules, and he is going to be disrupted. The first unsaved hit causes a disruption. If you're disrupted, you become reduced, which would cause a flip over. So he's just going to be disrupted. Disrupted units may not use direct fire or spot for indirect fire. They may move, but may not move closer to the enemy. So we're going to need some other markers. Also, the American unit would now be marked Ops Complete. And that's about as basic combat as I can show you. So I do think that that's pretty cool. I think it's simple, it's fun. There's more modifiers, of course. There's terrain modifiers, concealment, all sorts of crazy stuff. But I think it would be fun to use different types of weapons, helicopters, anti-tank guided missiles, all sorts of stuff. There's tons of scenarios. So I think I could definitely get down with trying this out. But let's get the finalized markers on the map here. All right, so it's going to look something like this once you mark everything. And that's pretty much it. Ops complete, disrupted. And that's pretty much how that's done. Now, of course, there's tons of other stuff. You can set fire to things. You can destroy buildings, create rubble, all sorts of stuff. So, all right, that's about it for this video. I just wanted to tell you what I was getting into here. I got tons of stuff coming in the mail. I did pre-order some stuff from VUCA. The Modern Tactics one, the Hubris, the new one that's coming out. And then I've got 2 Nations at War title coming from Lock and Load, which I'll definitely be getting into and show you guys that when I get it. So, all right, let me get this video up, and I'm going to play some more in this and get some stuff set up and practice it off camera. And then maybe I'll show you some more examples of combat, line of sight, once I find all my wargaming tools again. Get a new dice tower. I got to get my tweezers out, my line of sight marker, all that fun stuff. All right, thanks for watching. If you could, like, subscribe, share, let everyone know about the channel. And then keep up the faith, everyone. Keep up the faith. Do not give ground, and stand for what you believe in.